Welcome to, I did it again. Got back in an old habit, my doubles.
That doesn't annoy me.
Oh, it kind of annoys me now that I know about it. I'm like, why'd you do that? But it's Wednesday morning, and we're happy to have you here on the morning show. It's 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, and this is the place where we show up to have conversations, meaningful conversations, place to, imagine like you're sitting at a table and we're just having a conversation that is transformative and helpful, and just a neat way to get the day started. And we appreciate you hopping on here. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. We have TikTok on my left. Good morning, TikTok. We also have our Zoom chat going on, our Zoom panel. We've got some students with us this morning. And I bet the students are like, we want the end of school here. It's not a very good chant, but that's the whole point. The whole point is they're excited because school is almost out, and I bet they're just excited about that. Good morning, TJ Pruitt. Good to see you here on the stream today. Good stuff. Brittany, how are you this morning?
Good.
Except for your phone.
Yeah, my phone's on the fritz.
I don't know, give us a comment on this, but hey, Becky, good morning. Good to see you. Seriously, little things like a phone being glitched or whatever, super annoying. Mm-hmm. Like that's one of those, it kind of gets under your skin. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You're a face on me, and that's funny.
So, the weird thing about when your phone goes down, you remember all the things you're supposed to do on it.
Really? Is that what's going on right now in your mind?
Well,
Or
yeah. Or if you don't have your phone, you remember all the things you could have Googled, or all the things you were supposed to get on Amazon or the grocery store.
Oh, well, that phone can just stay dead then.
Or, that's funny.
Nah,
But, you know.
marriage.
It's just annoying.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I mean, I am looking at it, but you know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out.
It's fine.
Did it update, you think, last night?
I don't know. That was weird.
It's very weird. Got Martinez
Having a
in the
little,
house. What's going on, my
identity
man?
crisis going on.
Oh,
Doesn't know what it wants to be.
puns.
A phone or a brick.
What is it, brother?
It's good. Sorry, it's Rowdy. Our little doggy. Well, it's not even our little doggy. Oh, is that what it is? Did I put stuff in a chair he wants? Yes, sir. You doing good?
Yes, sir. Sitting a little bit of wonderful Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
It took me a second to figure out what
yeah,
day it was.
I was kind of, I was kind of like, I think it's Wednesday. I really do believe it's Wednesday.
So just left the dentist and headed back home with Malachi. Getting the day started.
Getting it done. Did that dentist hurt your feelings?
Lay down.
Ba-doom, pal.
What's that?
It's an old joke, you know. What? I don't like dentists. They hurt my feelings.
Get it?
Yeah. My bad.
That one. And what time was your dentist appointment? 2:30?
2:30. But I like a good joke like that. 2:30.
Yeah, I got in, got out, had some stitches removed.
Ah.
Good Lord. That's no
Yeah.
bueno. Well, I guess it's no bueno that you had to have stitches in.
Yeah, it's a long story. It's a long, grueling story.
Fair statement. Fair statement. Got Mark Henderson on Facebook. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see. He said, "Is it Corny Wednesday?" You know
What
what?
it sounds like. Yes.
It might be, and that's okay. It's absolutely okay. So, if you're new to the show, this is like I said, this is a conversation about things that I don't know. I mean, wouldn't you say it's meaning? It's well, I guess a term that we've kind of been kicking around here lately is it's kind of self-discovery, like having conversations with people that kind of help us learn a little bit more about ourselves and what it is that we're trying to achieve. And this week, we've been talking about the concept of identity. Identity. And I think the thing that kind of kickstarted that conversation is we started with the concept that who you are is or rather what your identity is will always be consistent with how you believe, act, proceed in life. In other words, there is like this idea that who you're trying to become or develop will either be helped by or hindered by the identity that you have inside about yourself. Like the idea is, hey, I really would like to achieve this goal, but the truth is I don't believe that I could achieve that goal. I don't believe that I'm the type of person, right, that does that. That's what kind of kick-started this conversation about, really a lot of around belief and growth and different things like that. And this morning I wanted to kind of kick this thought around when it comes to identity, okay? And understanding who you are. In fact, yesterday we talked a lot about knowing who you are versus who everyone else tries to tell you to be. Like all the voices, all the opinions, okay? But let's say you are comfortable with who you are. How do you improve your identity? How do you say, I'm like, in other words, it's kind of like my physical health, right? I have this body, but I want to improve this body. Like, what are some functional things to, grow my identity to become more of who you see what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all think about that? How do you grow your identity? By the way, let's see here. Got a few comments. No, I have not seen Bob Sr.'s new teeth, Kayla. That's interesting. Awesome. 10 a.m. show. Love it. Love it. Love it.
10 a.m. Santa's coming in.
I'll be honest. I was trying to think. I was like,
Elf.
What is that? But yeah, like, what do y'all think? How do you grow your identity? How do you become more
Self-aware.
self-aware? Okay. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, I think growing your identity is something you will always be doing. Mm-hmm. Because just when you don't master it, because just when you think you've mastered it, bam, new season of life. Mm-hmm. And so, I thought I knew who I was, and then I had kids. Mm-hmm. I thought I knew who I was with kids, and then my babies turned to toddlers. I thought I knew who I was.
Right.
And so every season of life is a different, it's a different feeling, and it grows you in a different way. I think life grows your identity. It's just you being it's you being self-aware of which direction you're growing.
So you're saying, make sure I hear you. So in other words, there's a level of life that is happening, and how you adjust to that has a lot to do with whether or not you're growing or not. Like, in other words, are you adapting well to life? Like, in other words, are adaptations to life, is that growth opportunities? Do you think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think everything's a growth opportunity. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a good point, because like you said, anytime something changes in your environment, it's like an automatic reset. Mm-hmm. You get married. It's a new person in your environment all the time. They don't go home.
Why do you say it like that? God almighty.
And that is, you might be at a different season in life, like, oh, you got children, so you thought, you kind of have to adapt, but are there not some core identities or characteristics that stay with you no matter what season of life you're in?
Absolutely. Things that make up who you are.
Are there some foundational identities that carry with you no matter where you are, whatever you do, or who you're in front of, or how many children you might have? And I'm going to pause it because the baby's...
Oh, you're fine. New season.
And on that note.
Yeah. I do, even when Martina's kind of talking about that, I kind of thought about, okay, let's look at this desk, okay? This desk, this is a wooden desk. Mm-hmm. At one point, it was just a tree. Mm-hmm. Let's assume I don't know. I didn't get this. You did. You're the furniture lady. And I guess what I'm saying is, this desk had always been in that tree, but the tree was just a tree. So it took some conditioning and some molding and some sanding and some glue. It took some stuff, right, to get this together.
Yeah.
And but the point is, it's a tree. Mm-hmm. But it took being formed by an external force, right? Like this was not a pleasant experience if the tree was feeling this process. You know what I'm saying?
At its core, it's still wood.
Yeah, it is still who it is. It's just been transformed.
What does the T. Jake says about a tree? He says something really good about that, becoming something.
Oh, I don't know.
Never mind.
Does anybody know what the bishop has to preach about the tree?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, it depends. I think major things may shape. I think it's life majors thing. Yeah, exactly. There's almost this, Martinez, because I liked what he was talking about. There's some stuff that's you to the core.
Yeah.
But like, there's almost like some things that I look at that maybe that is you to the core, but life has a funny way of like polishing that rough edge of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like humor. There are some people, man, they're funny, but they are funny at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Son, is everything a joke? Sorry, Whit.
Yeah, I will say too, time has a nice way of mellowing you out. I am still the same person. I have humor that has always been, the way that it is. I have, but even at that, it's like, even though it's me, it's like if you listen to an old audio, right? Like my voice may be a little bit more high pitched, but you can tell it's me. But yet at the same time, my voice has changed since then, but you can tell it's me.
Right.
So yeah, there definitely is some core things, but I have to admit the person that I was at 21 is not the person that I am at 31.
Okay.
31-year-old me looks back at 21-year-old me and says, girl, you are far too uptight. Like, loosen up. Don't get so aggravated. Pick and choose your battles. It's one of those. And so time has done I guess a good number on me in that regard.
But, but on the opposite side, there's also this level of like being careful because like, life has a funny way of beating the believer out of you in the sense of becoming more cynical.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you something. If you want to stay true to who you are, this goes back to what we said in the beginning, your foundation is God, right? Like, because you can't get close enough. You can't get close to God without him revealing in some way, shape, or form who you are. He just does that because he cares so much about you that before you were even formed, he knew you.
Yeah.
I know you. And so I can help you find the things you're confused about within you because I made you.
Yeah.
So that's your foundation. Stay close to who God is in your life. But at the same time, staying true to who you are, and learning to recognize that. And this goes back to, we talked a lot about this last week, but I don't think you can talk about it enough. In order to keep a positive perception of who you are, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You have to believe yourself capable of whatever it is that you're out for. You have to believe yourself capable of, you have to look at yourself and say, my identity in its core is good.
Yeah.
Because if you don't feel that way, then you're never going to get anywhere.
Oh yeah, like that probably leads to like self-destructive tendencies.
It does.
It
does.
Well, it doesn't matter that this is just who I am.
Yeah.
Like that's the tricky thing. Like yeah.
Yeah, that's the thought process of this. My surroundings and what has been done to me make up who I am. It's just a little tweak in your thinking, okay? The fact that I survived my surroundings and I am who I am makes me who I am. What you did to me doesn't make me who I am. How I lived through it makes me who I am.
Right.
It's a little twist because you can't change where you've come from. You can't change what's happened to you in life, but you can look at yourself and say, I'm here and no longer will I let that haunt me. I have control over me now.
Right.
And that doesn't make up my identity. My identity is how I survived.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't know why I felt like I needed to veer there. But.
No, you're fine because I'm hearing that and I'm like, even to that point, I'm like, the greatest responsibility in life that you can have is taking responsibility for who you decide to become.
Absolutely.
Like taking that responsibility, that's huge. That's huge.
Caleb had.
Oh, we got some comments.
Therapy/counseling helps growth. I do agree that I am not against therapy and counseling. I think if you feel like you are stumped, you'd actually be surprised at the amount of childhood trauma that you tend to carry that you don't realize. And sometimes counseling has a great way of kind of making you realize that you have some habits that happened to you because when you were a kid, something happened. Like, I hate to be embarrassed, it makes me just feel, but then the more I thought about it and the more I kind of dug into it, makes me feel the same way I felt when I was in school and a teacher embarrassed me in front of my whole class. It's that same humiliating feeling, and I go back to that 8-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying?
How
So,
dare you?
yeah, but like you'd be surprised, and that's minor. I mean, unfortunately there's a world out there with
Yeah.
people that have truly had
No, absolutely.
horrible trauma done to them. So yeah, I mean, you know, if you were in a situation where you just can't seem to find your path out of your memories or whatever, they have a great way of helping you sort through those things.
Absolutely. Let's see here. TJ, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, absolutely. So even that concept of having even a core support group in terms of like I do think that is interesting. You know, I think you brought it up the other day. There is a saying in the personal development community that you're the equivalent of the 5 closest people that you spend the most time with. You know, so that's kind of interesting to having those people around you that are helping build you and even push you, right? Like sometimes sometimes you need a community that doesn't say, well, it's okay you didn't. It's one of those, well, why can't you? You know what I mean? Why couldn't you do that? Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, look around at the people around you. Are you comrades? You know, that you find camaraderie in your insecurities,
Yeah.
or are you know? And I'm not saying if they are, then you know you just need to be like, hey, listen, you're unhealthy for me. Bye.
Right.
But I am saying that, you know, maybe add some additions to your circle, and then slowly but surely that circle just kind of evolves. But yeah, I think also what you're allowing into you matters. What are you know, I'm in no way slamming anybody if they're not but I do laugh. I've had this a lot, where people when we get to talking about what's your favorite books, I don't like self-help books. I'm like, well, then you don't like being helped at its crux. You know, I'm not saying that's all you have to read. If you like a casual fictional book, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, there are some great lessons that can be learned from people that have walked paths and that have made it to a place where you would like to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's, you know, pour into read a good book. Like, read a good book that helps you about whether it's your finances, whether it's your self-esteem. My God, there's some great books on identity. I have people that I love that maybe they don't have a Christian background. I'm careful what I let into my life in that regard. You can help me in terms of business and things like that, but, you know, like, you're not going to help my identity on the spiritual front, you know?
Right. Well, I tell you what happens for me. Like sometimes when I'm reading a book, like for whatever it is, when they start sharing truth,
Yeah.
it's not that they have some kind of truth. That they got that truth out of the Bible.
Yeah.
Like whether they really, you know, it's one of those like, hello.
Keep talking to dumb dogs in the trash.
Oh, rowdy. Might have anybody want a dog? Free dog giveaway. Yay. I'm just kidding. Martinez, what do you think about all this, sir? Hi, Malachi.
Well, it's great stuff. And just to go back to your original question, how do you improve your identity? How do you, I think that was kind of the gist of it, right? That you opened with your question, how to improve identity. Yeah, so like just taking a mental notes here, it sounds like time, you know, Brittany gave the example of her being 21 versus 31 and that being herself being different. So it sounds like time is kind of like an ingredient that improves your identity. But, you know, y'all mentioned counseling, self-awareness, you know, being active by reading books, I guess, and putting the right people around you, namely your those 5 friends or what have you. But obviously, and another one was, what was it? The getting closer to God. That'll help you actually see yourself more or better in an effort to actually improve your identity or kind of make you more aware. Anyway, I just wanted to circle back about what I've gotten from the conversation.
Oh, that's
as
good.
far as you know, how to improve your identity, you know. And I tell you, you know, time happens to us all, so there's no really that's kind of lazy. Not that I'm calling anybody lazy, but that would be lazy for me. But you know, you're exactly right. What's not lazy is choosing the network of people or the 5 people in your life that you desire to kind of like do life with. Now that's not lazy, you know. It's not lazy to pick up a book and read and that kind of stuff. And you know, that is if you are serious about improving your identity, you know. I love y'all's examples, great examples.
Well, well, I love that recap, Martinez, and I think that's a great question. Everybody should always be asking, like, what am I getting out of this? Like, where am I? What am I learning? What am I growing? But you triggered a memory. We were actually talking about this in our student huddle because, again, identity, seeing yourself. Who are you? This came out this is something that came to my memory. And I'm just going to throw this out here. This is a passage in James. But James said in 1:22, he said, "Be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourself. For if anyone hears the word and doesn't do it, he's like a man who looked intently at his natural face in a mirror. He looked at himself and he goes away and at once forgets what he was like." So like there is this part of me that feels like to know who you are, right, in light of the word of God, because again, that's a core belief of mine. Not only do you have to know the word and read the word, but there's action in order to discover, to actually know who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like going to hear a sermon and the sermon like empowered you and then you walked away and actually didn't do anything with it. And then all of a sudden you just kind of forgot about that thing.
Faith without works.
Yeah. I mean, that was James' whole point, and all of that is, you know, faith without. So I guess my question, and this is where I'll kind of stop it, so to speak, and then maybe this will lead into the tomorrow's discussion. I have this funny feeling and this funny idea that sometimes there's like, so life, time, these things are kind of very natural things that are happening. But what about these intentional tools that you can do to change your identity? For instance, and we can talk a little bit about this, I'm just kind of setting it up for tomorrow, but I believe that one of the major reasons that goal setting is so helpful, it's not about actually what you achieve from the goal, but it's about who you become by pursuing a goal. So I want you to think about this. It's not about, you know, don't get me wrong, there is a victory in, oh man, I achieved that goal. But what if you set goals that were big enough, meaningful enough, powerful enough that it literally required you to become someone better than what you are right now to achieve it?
That's good.
What is it that we can do? What is it that's the doing, so to speak, of shifting our, not just what's happening, but what are we doing with that intention? And that will be our discussion tomorrow. I love it. All right. Well, appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. Pow!
You're going to be holding that stance for about 20 3 hours before
Yeah,
you finally
exactly.
get in.
Anyways, well, hey, I appreciate everyone being here. I wish you a happy Wednesday. A Wednesday of wishes and wellness and wonder and
A lot of Wednesdays.
all the W's. Going for the win on Wednesday, baby. Okay? But anyways, we'll be right back tomorrow. I about said 10 a.m.
Santa's coming.
Santa's coming! Oh my gosh. 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You all be blessed, and we'll see you wrong transition. Tomorrow.
Much love.